Hi, this is Jackie.
Hi, this is Diana.
And you're listening to Homebodies Only, where we welcome all bodies to listen to us as we break down and dissect HBO series. I have to turn off my spaces.
Thank you for being transparent.
All right.
Appreciate it.
I want to just start off this episode by apologizing that I was calling her famous purple sequined bag a Balenciago. It was a Fendi baguette.
OMG.
I'm really mortified, and I don't know if anyone's going to listen now to this episode because I butchered it in the other one. So yeah, and I remember him saying, "Give me your bag," and she's like, "It's a baguette."
Yes, I do remember. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I don't know if she ever said it was Fendi. She might have, but anyway, I just had to apologize for that. All right,
it's all good.
So I wanted to say this episode starts off, the theme is coffee.
Yeah.
We're seeing everybody getting coffee.
It's lots of coffee.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about my feelings again about the cups, but okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you hone in on that. That's your job.
My job.
Hone in on that.
I'm always,
that's your job in this podcast. You're the coffee
like investigator.
Investigator. Yes.
Is there something in the cup? Dun, dun,
Is there
dun.
something in the cup or not? What do you say, Diana? Okay. Carrie actually finally slept, and it was in her old apartment.
Yes.
She wakes up, there's shoe boxes on her counter. I noticed. She pulls out the old Mr. Coffee maker. I think it was a Mr. Coffee, wasn't it?
I believe it was.
Well, it looks like she's going to make coffee, right? Then we see Charlotte getting 2 non-fat lattes.
But where was the coffee? So when's the last time Carrie was in this apartment? So I wrote down, I bet the coffee was in the freezer. Right. Or was it moldy, stale? Like how long?
Oh,
I'm sure. Years was she not, or does she frequent the apartment for?
Stanford does.
Right? Oh, that's true. He was staying in the apartment.
Yeah, so
that's a good point.
That's what I'm thinking. Like
he kind of lived in it.
I know, because that was in my head. I was like, does she have she didn't have sheets on the bed? She was just laying on the bed and then with her jacket over her or something. And then when she must have showered, does she have stuff there? Like I guess
I forgot that he
goes there. So.
They did mention that he does stay in the place. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But yes.
So Charlotte, she orders 2 non-fat. There's that non-fat.
Hey.
That's another name for
girl.
skim milk. Ew.
That's what I had tonight.
I got a flood of emails. Team whole milk. Just to let you know.
Listen, after school today, I hopped over. I had to go get the groceries because, we're going to get an inch of snow. I had to wash the car. It was like a whole thing.
Was everybody panicking? Was everybody panicking?
Yeah, everybody was at the store. There was literally 3 loaves of bread on the shelves. It was a whole thing.
Always.
So as I was driving over to the store, I texted my barista and I was like, "Hey, I'm on my way. Can you have I don't say non-fat latte. I say a latte with skim milk. I just call it what it is because I'm not that cool. Or stuck up. I don't know.
Good I'm not
a Starbucks customer. I can't stand Starbucks. It's too bitter.
I like the sugary, ridiculous drinks at Starbucks. Yeah. Once in a while.
Yeah. It takes 45 minutes to get, and I can't speak their language. So it's I can't order a coffee from there. So anyway, I go up and I still, I'm like, but I said, I didn't do the double shot today. I did the single shot because it was 5 o'clock. So I'm a little wired still tonight.
Wired. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did have coffee at lunchtime, and I don't always because it does keep me up. It used to not. I don't know if it's my age or not,
man.
But I feel good.
You're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably be exhausted if I didn't have it.
Right. Sometimes you just need that.
Right.
I needed it today because I was like, if I'm going to go to this grocery store, I'm going to need me a little latte to get me through it.
Yeah.
She put a little mocha and a little peppermint topping.
Nice.
See, they don't do the silly fake
the shots.
No,
of stuff.
It's all real.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
The peppermint is actually crushed candy canes in a shaker. It's so good. You got it. You got to go.
I wish it was kind of near me.
I know. You got to go sometime when you're in.
All right. It's a mobile app?
No,
you text your barista?
I have. You can text your order though, and then they leave it out on the counter for you at their pickup.
So then how do you pay for it?
I have a card on
when
file.
You get there?
But yes, you can. Okay. If you have it ready, you just pay when you get there. Yes. That's what I see people do too.
And that's called All That Java, folks, for you local peeps.
Locations in Rhinebeck, Kingston, Tivoli, and Millbrook.
All right.
I'm a top fan. I'm telling you.
And she doesn't get paid.
I don't get paid for it. But it is.
I mean, we don't get paid for anything on this podcast.
Delicious. Just a little plug to them if they're listening.
Yeah. Yes.
Hashtag All That Java.
Okay. So as Charlotte orders the 2 coffees, and then she's confirming Harry's colonoscopy very loudly on the phone.
In the coffee shop, of all places.
In the coffee shop. And she's like, oh, sorry, that was kind of loud.
Sounds like something I would do. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. I think my husband would confirm his own, but
that's true.
Anyway. So then we see LTW also in another coffee shop ordering 2 not fat lattes. The daughter asks for a croissant in French.
Of course.
And so she's like, I have to get her one, right? I don't know if she's talking to her husband or who she's talking to. And then they're walking towards each other. So, and I actually saw this as a meme that I sent to Diana. I don't know, a couple weeks ago. This is
totally something we would do, by the way.
Yeah, and because Charlotte's like, I got you coffee. And then LTW is like, I got you coffee.
So just so you know, I want you to start calling me DLJ because I'm loving the LTW.
Ew, so then I'm kind of like Charlotte. Oh,
I'm digging at the more I'm like into the show. I'm like everybody she's LTW. I want to be DLJ.
Sorry,
so
DLJ.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call you DLJ.
So just start calling me DLJ. Let's roll with that for a while and see how it goes. If it sticks, I'm down with that.
Yeah, I would. No, I wouldn't work because the H, it doesn't work. J, like JMH. Michelle.
No, it doesn't really doesn't flow work, the way that
you're DLJ.
Because I'm DJ the DJ. Like
she thinks.
I think I am.
Isn't
I'm
really
not
a DJ.
A DJ at all, but I pretend like I am.
She ain't spinning no records. She's spinning around in circles on the ice.
That's
tell
cute.
you that much. She
cute.
can do that. I just came up with that.
The DLJ.
The improv class.
That's right. And DLJ hits the way that LTW hits.
Yeah,
it totally does.
You're DLJ.
All right.
Okay. I will
make note. Okay.
I will try. Oh yeah, I love it. Okay.
All right. Back to the show.
Then we see Professor Wallace, Naya. She's in the mirror looking at herself, and her husband comes up and brings her a fresh brewed cup.
Did you not want a cup of coffee when that came out?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally.
I watch these shows very late at night, but even just, I was like, I want a cup of coffee. I can't wait for my coffee in the morning.
Once in a while, it's more. Yeah. But, I can't wait. I make my coffee at night so we can just turn it on. And
I'm in the shower.
I'm dying for
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, no, I don't have, because we brew 1 cup at a time. We have an espresso.
Oh, so
yeah. So no. I have to put it on when I'm out of the shower. I don't have a timer or anything like that. This is an espresso. Anyway, we're now at the school, outside the school, and Charlotte has solidified the botany team who was profiled in New York Magazine. Another woman, I know her name, but it was Deirdre, says, or she could call a friend who has a state-of-the-art animal shelter on City Island. They get to play with the animals. She hadn't heard from Charlotte all week, and she thought she dropped the ball. And LTW comes to the defense and is saying, Charlotte's never dropped the ball in her
I don't think
life.
she has. I agree with that, LTW. No.
She's like, check your spam mail because it's all on the email.
That's right.
She's like, we'll book the button and save the animal shelter for another day.
That's right. You tell her.
And Charlotte's like, how do you do that? What? Oh, she's like, I pretend I'm talking to my documentary crew. She's like, you're the only one I wouldn't fire. She's like, I wouldn't fire you or something like that. And then she tells her about, I think Charlotte knew already about Herbert, her husband's birthday party. And she's like, you're the only one invited from the group. So keep it on the QT. And I was like, isn't that
down
DL?
low? Yeah.
It's QT because it means quiet, but really I
would have went with DL.
I really don't think that was really.
Is QT more like mature
cutie
to say than like keep it on the DL is like immature?
You're asking me that?
Okay. I don't know.
Or is QT more
I thought QT was quality
more
time.
Fancy.
No, quality time.
Quality time. Yeah.
Right?
QT. In fact, I Googled it because I was like, what? So it says QT actually means cutie Because if you say it, cutie, it means cutie.
Right.
That was the first thing that came up.
Interesting.
As slang. And then they were like, it means keep it quiet.
Oh, okay. I don't know if that could stick for me. I'm going DL.
There must be a reason they had her character say that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted to point out.
The culottes?
In fact.
Sorry. She had like some.
No, I didn't want to
bang culottes.
I mean, she looked great. I don't know if I would have worn that outfit.
No.
But I mean, she looked good in it. But she had on a red top and then a red purse. And then Charlotte had on a white top with a white purse. There's a lot of matchy purses, which I was actually digging because I'm kind of into that, to do that. I loved doing that back when matchy was
the thing,
more in style. So I am liking that. I'll point it out.
There's a couple times,
other times maybe. I don't think Carrie does not do that though. Okay. Charlotte says how she wants to have her over soon with her friend group, and LTW suggests Thursday, which I think is in 2 days.
Yeah, why not?
And so immediately Charlotte cancels Harry's colonoscopy for Friday.
Do you think there's any are we going to go back to the colonoscopy, or is this just?
Oh God, I hope.
I hope not. Right? That like he misses the
That like now Harry's going to die.
Yeah, like Harry missed his colonoscopy. Now he has colon cancer. It's like
she'll reschedule it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because they brought up the colonoscopy a few times. I'm just saying. I hope it's not, but.
I think they were just trying to be funny because it was a colonoscopy you can't be out the night before. You have to drink.
Yes, correct.
I don't know how long.
Yeah.
Apparently I'm going to have to be getting one soon. I don't know. That's what my sisters keep telling me. I'm like, please shut up. Leave me alone.
My aunt's a colon cancer survivor, so please get yourself checked.
Oh, well, yes, I will take care of myself, but not looking.
No, nobody looks forward to that.
My one sister actually enjoyed it because she got to relax. They like gave her some. She's like, she got to relax.
You get knocked
during
out.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she actually liked it.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I need to think of it that way. It's actually some time alone.
It is. It's like getting a massage at the spa, right?
Sort of.
You get that self-care hour to yourself.
That's pretty sad. That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
And you probably lose some weight too. I mean, you drink this terrible thing, you prep, it's a whole thing. You lose a couple pounds. Not that you need to, by the way.
I know.
You actually should not.
Probably should not. Maybe
you should probably go out for a very, very fulfilling meal after, actually. I would like to take you out on that adventure. I can't wait for your first colonoscopy or mine.
Oh,
can we stop talking about this?
Yes. Okay. We got Miranda. This is probably why they did. Okay.
This is why I can't drink espresso at 5:00. It's going to be a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah. Oh, God.
No, I promise it won't. Or I do. I can't make any promises. We've lost 5 downloads already. Okay. Miranda is staring at her coffee maker, and she looks rough. You know, I'm not going to lie. She looks hungover. Rough. She looks hungover. Yeah. Brady walks in. He's like, "Oh man, reek of weed." Oh.
And she's like, "I haven't showered yet." And Luis is like,
"Okay,
they're all adults. They know what pot smells like." Yeah, I can't. She doesn't talk that, but I keep imitating her like she.
But how is she still? How have we not sent this girl home?
And she's eating marshmallows or something
for breakfast.
Like, she grosses me out, and I know they have her doing that to gross you out. Like, she's just like she's always eating something where they just had sex or just like
gross. Go home.
I know. Maybe there'll be more depth with her. Like
maybe her life really stinks at home or something. But at the same time, but she's not. But she's obnoxious. She's obnoxious and disrespectful. That's what exactly. That is like your boyfriend's mother. Like, I would never, never be that comfortable. Ew. I'm 17. First of all, I wasn't like what. I don't know.
Well, let's not get into how old we were with that. I'm not talking about that. Okay. Louisa says, Brady's like, it's legal. And then Miranda says there were alternative types at the comedy concert. It's like, she just keeps stepping in it. Like, come on, just say they were smoking pot. Like, just.
They're like, alternative to what?
I know. She's like, alternative to what? Like, has to call her out and make her feel like she said something wrong. And then she's just like, I'm not caffeinated enough for this conversation.
I would agree with that.
That's what she said. So, okay. We have Carrie. She's looking through her closet and she pulls out that white dress with the giant flower that has it's gold, outlined gold. I was like, which is it from the show or from the movie? It's actually from the movie, which I thought it was from the show.
I went movie.
Yeah, it was movie. Yeah. I looked it up. Then I thought it was from the show just because it was so on my mind, like just so prominent in my mind.
And her alarm clock.
Then she pulls out.
Her alarm clock struck me as well, even though we didn't talk about it. But I loved her alarm clock, and I've pictured you with the same one.
Because we talked. Well, I don't.
It was
I
like
think we
super
talked
retro.
offline. We talked offline about my alarm clock.
Oh, okay.
We weren't recording when we talked.
Oh, okay.
I use an alarm clock, everyone, and I have a home phone. Okay. I'm 70 years old. I don't want my cell phone by my head. Anyway, okay. And I know I could have it across the room. Shut up. I just don't want to deal with it. All right.
I thought she was going to put on the dress, by the way. That wasn't the dress she wore. She wore a tutu.
No, she wore two pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she pulled out. So after that white with the gold flower dress, she pulled out a pattern dress that I know also looked familiar, but I was Googling the patooties out of it and
couldn't find it.
Nothing came up, but I know that was also significant. Again, maybe from the movie, because I don't know, it was driving me nuts. Like maybe she wore it in Paris. I don't know. Okay. So yes, then the coffee maker overflows.
Yeah, that was great.
How much water did she put in?
I don't know.
Because the coffee maker doesn't make the water, like it doesn't produce more water.
It was like a science experiment in there. Like,
does she not know how to make?
And then I was thinking, you have like those butcher block countertops, so it's all stained now. It's a whole thing. So there's that. That's what I think about. How are you cleaning this mess up?
Move. I knew that probably drove me nuts.
Oh yeah.
My mom would have also gone nuts. Like I was just like watching it overflow, and she's just staring at it like, oh no. I would have been like, I would have ran over to it and like probably burnt myself trying to push it.
You made it worse. It's a whole Yeah.
So she comes out of the apartment, coming down the steps wearing that, I call it tulle, but it is like I guess it's tulle, right? Yeah. But it's long. It was like 2 layers. Tulle skirt with a striped shirt.
So darn cute.
Like retro looking. And then those white booties, they're white and then they have black on top. And I was looking those up because I could have sworn they looked familiar. I'm just thinking everything's familiar now. I don't know. So then she walks into what I call a bodega and he's like, Caroline. He looked like a vampire. Like, I don't know what was going on with his skin tone, but he honestly looked like they put powder all over it. That's all I have to say. I'm not trying to insult anybody, but I don't know if his makeup was messed up.
I wrote down that I love the bodega scene.
Oh, I did too. Yeah. And apparently her name is Caroline. And I did see a little spoiler on this by mistake.
Oh, okay.
I didn't mean to, but they're like, oh, finally we find out her real name is Caroline. I was like, okay. I didn't know that. The lady that walks by too, that like looks at her outfit and is like, like rolls her eyes to the side. Like, it's kind of funny. The man asks her, she never says his name, right? Because I don't think she does to him.
She never says his name.
She never says his name. Yeah.
But he was talking about like, you leave the neighborhood, you've been married, you know, that whole thing.
He asks her about how she likes married life or if she likes married life. She says he dies. He apologizes and he gives her
the hard roll,
the black coffee that she wanted, and a roll.
Yeah, he remembered her coffee order, which was great. And I swear he was pouring coffee in that cup, but when she picked it up, I don't think there was coffee in there.
Probably not.
But she did take the pre-wrapped hard roll that we're also familiar with when we go into the bodega. So, I appreciated that.
I'm a big fan, to be honest.
Who doesn't love a buttered hard roll from a convenience store?
The best,
right? I hate rolls like by themselves, but somehow they're amazing.
And they layer it with the butter, like a lot.
Like I would never make that for myself, like bagel, cream cheese, you know, the whole thing, but never a buttered hard roll. That does not.
No, because also my butter would be so cold from the fridge, so it wouldn't spread right that. But they have like tubs of it.
And it sits out, so it's like definitely like not hygienic at all.
Temperature.
Yeah, it's probably got all kinds of E. coli and bacteria.
It's pasteurized. Hey,
true.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, probably the buttered rolls are what will save us from the pandemic, actually.
They're wrapped. Okay. She's back in her apartment. Oh, she's back in her current apartment and she's looking around and hello, it's me.
I wrote
playing
that down.
Music style.
I was like,
we call it music. I know. And it was like a guitar. Ding, 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 ding.
And I was like,
I know, I have chills. Oh.
I added it to my, because I haven't listened to that artist in a long time. And of course, hearing it like gave me chills. So I added it to my playlist on my Apple.
The music version?
No, the actual version.
Okay.
Yeah. And it forever changes the song for me, but I still love it.
Yeah. So then she sees the Peloton. Then they cut away to the restaurant. It's Carrie, Charlotte, and Miranda. Mm-hmm. And I liked Carrie's outfit. I did take a snap pic. I didn't look it up or anything. It looked very French to me, mm-hmm. but it's like it's that cream with black mm-hmm. pattern on it, similar to that dress she was wearing as like a little jacket or light jacket as last episode. And she has like a hat on, like almost a beret
ish
or a yarmulke combined.
Yeah, it was an interesting headpiece.
And she had it like to the side.
Yeah.
She's having some red wine. All right. So this part I liked too, because she said when she went there, just for a second, she thought he'd be there. Mm-hmm. She was like thinking about something else. Mm-hmm. And feel that. She tells them she's selling the apartment. And they were like, both Miranda and Charlotte was like, wait, you're not supposed to make any big decisions for a year. It's halt.
Yeah.
Don't make big decisions when you're hungry, angry. What's the L?
Oh, what was it? I didn't write it down. And they look at each other for it. Yeah.
And we can't remember it?
Oh, and they're looking at each other for it. I can't remember. But yeah. That was funny how they were like finishing each other's sentences there. And she was like, no, not having it. Like,
oh, I bet my Google won't work very well.
Yeah, it's all good. I can do a little background check here. Go ahead.
Yeah. Nope. She's like, nope. I contacted a realtor, and then Charlotte says she's planning a dinner party, like, the next day or 2 days or whatever it is, only if you're up for it. And Carrie says she is. She's like, well, I didn't know if you want to see people. She's like, well, I live in a city. I always see people. Mm-hmm. So then Miranda cannot come because she's having dinner with her professor, which, wow, what a huge turnaround, going from, totally terrible, politically incorrect things, embarrassing herself. And I guess she had a really good argument in class mm-hmm. about inequality of women in the workplace. And then she's like, should we get a bottle?
Yeah.
Charlotte's like, no, I love how no bottle. We're fine.
I love how they snuck that in there. Yeah. Hungry, angry, lonely, or tired.
Lonely. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's right.
Now we have Seema. Seema also was all monochromatic.
Dude,
in her first
Seema
match.
is fierce, man.
I know. It's like she's not overly where you're mm-hmm. like, this is such a caricature almost. She's not.
No.
There's a soft side to her. And
you can tell, they're introducing, I feel like we talked about this offline too, like the absence of Samantha. Mm-hmm. And then here comes Seema, the realtor, who's
like, I feel like LTW sort of dresses the way Samantha mm-hmm. would. And then Seema has
more of the personal about her life, maybe. I don't know. There's something about her that's a little more like Samantha's.
Samantha-esque. Yeah, a little bit. She has a mocha colored, I call it mocha. Mm-hmm. Online they said mallow, but colored. It's all Fendi.
Yeah,
I found out she's got a belt. It does not come with a belt, so I don't know who's
wearing the belt.
That is. But I could not find the frickin' shoes. Okay, she steps on her cigarette with these awesome shoes, brown with studs. I think like gold studs, and I was like, "Are you kidding that I can't find these shoes online? Mm-hmm. Like they had their own scene."
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what they are. I don't know. I thought I could find it, but I couldn't. I'm confused when someone does. Yeah, I'm looking. When someone goes to the trouble, mm-hmm. it's called. Oh, it's a Valentino buckle belt, or is that on the? Yep, it's a Valentino belt. They give you all this information. They even could tell you it's a Valentino Roman stud
but not the shoes.
Handle bag. Yeah,
right.
How could you leave out the shoes? Mm-hmm. Especially for this show. Anyway, Seema means boundary. She's like, funny because I have none.
Yeah.
She's like, gorgeous in the apartment. She's like, it's all got to go.
Yeah.
And she said that, people need to be able to picture themselves living there. Mm-hmm. And then she walks into the closet and she's like, oh my gosh, and sees the bathroom. And well, first, Carrie's like, no one touches the shoes.
Big scene.
She's like, I get it. Yeah.
I name all my bags.
Just purses.
What was her
she says,
purse's name?
Lorraine.
That was Lorraine, right? I love Carrie.
In
nice to meet you. She was like bowing to
nice
it.
To meet you. Yeah.
She gets it.
I wonder how much that purse was.
Holy crap. Yeah.
And then she says, of course, she did say, this might be the only apartment I could sell on the pictures of the bathroom alone. And then she says, but you know what it needs? A Peloton.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh my
Come
God.
on.
Yeah. So then Carrie has to be uptown.
20 minutes or so.
Carrie, by the way, FYI, is wearing, I believe it was vintage Norma Kamali. I don't know if it's a dress or a jumpsuit. And then the blazer,
it was
which honestly was crazy.
Suit. I feel like it had pant legs. It wasn't a dress.
I think it was too. I thought I saw
unless it was one of those dresses but it looked like it was
no, I think it was
a jumper style.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like a blazer-ish or shirt. It was a little much for me, to be honest. I believe it was but it was the same brand and everything. What was I going to say? So I don't know. Carrie has to be uptown or something. And then she's like, well, I'll give you a ride. So they get into her car, her Mercedes, and you could tell she's like, do you smoke?
Yeah.
And then she bums a cigarette from her.
Did the cigarette bring you back a bit? I was like, it just like brought it right back to Carrie.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And
she was more Carrie. Carrie-esque. Yeah.
Like I even wanted a cigarette and I'm like anti-smoking.
Right.
Like
the way she did it and everything. And held it up.
My mom.
She just looked so like.
Yeah. I mean, my mom. And so I'm anti, of course.
Yeah.
But man, I wanted one.
Yeah, it made it look very like
like
they have the coffee, they have the wine. You're like,
I want all of these things. I wanted coffee, wine, and cigarettes all in this this episode. It was like so like
even though Miranda's like an bordering alcoholic, I still like I would like
a glass of wine too. It was like bringing me back to just like remember Mad Men?
Oh yeah,
you watched that series, right? So it was that sort of thing. Like, I watched that and I wanted to have like something on the rocks and I wanted a cigarette, like a Virginia Slim.
Well, they were also all stylish.
Oh my gosh.
They weren't looking like crap, in their beat up t-shirts. They looked good. Yeah.
Yeah. So this scene, I was like, oh, darn it. I want to be in like a limousine with like a bottle of champagne and a damn cigarette. And I don't smoke.
And then coffee for later.
Yes.
No. All right, now we're at the podcast, and there is this woman, Chloe, who is in a wheelchair. Now, I looked her up. Her name is Allie. Oh, gosh, I hope this typed it correctly. It says Allie Stroker. I hope that's right. She's an actress and a singer. She is the first actress who uses a wheelchair. It really uses a wheelchair to appear on Broadway. FYI. So she is attacking them.
Chloe was really coming off like a little bit like, all right, you need to back up a little bit there.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was making me angry. She was so like abrasive.
Yeah. People get very angry who are in charge of like the social media. I think that's a stereotype where they're like, so she's like, your podcast socials suck. You all need to post like your life depends on it.
That's how you're getting through to people?
Consistently. Yeah, she's the only one consistently posting. She's like, because my life depends on it. She rails into Carrie, saying her social is dead like a corpse, like all this stuff.
Yeah.
Then realizes the hot guy producer, there's a close-up on him and stuff, and he's like, all right,
that's
there. Enough. And then she's like, oh, F, you know.
Way to go.
I'm so sorry. And then Bobby's like, read the room.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not Bobby. Jackie. No, why did I say Bobby? Oh, his real name's Bobby in real life. Sorry, messed him up. Because I know him.
I know.
Bobby. Sorry, I mixed them up because we're friends in my head. But he does have my name. So Jackie, don't make this about us. It was fun while it lasted. Sorry. And so that's what she says to Jackie. So clearly they hooked up. Then she does say sorry for your loss, but still tells her to get her socials up. Jackie chases her outside at like the hallway, and they can see them and hear them, and Che's like eating her bag of chips. Their bag of chips, watching. He's like, Jackie says, who ghosts someone when they're going to see them the next day? She's like, why don't you wash your bath towels more than once a year? It's kind of funny. And I just wanted to know, the hot guy is getting more lines.
He is. There's definitely something going to be coming. And I did not read ahead. I've only watched up to episode 5 and I'm telling you, I'm feeling it.
Yeah. Yep. So I don't know. They make a joke. They all go off in each other about young love. Is it love? I didn't write it all down. And then, Che was like, you should have really like gave it to Chloe. Yeah. She did that. She's like, no, because she goes, I'm going to use that when she tries to make me go back on Twitter, which I thought was funny. Mm-hmm. Twitter is annoying.
Bananas.
Okay. Bananas. All right. We got Charlotte. She is. Oh, and Harry. She's in bed because I have a picture down here, but it doesn't go with what the scene is. She's in bed. Harry walks in. Oh, she's talking about the dinner. He's like, don't I have a colonoscopy?
Yeah, she's got like the iPad out, planning out this whole meal, the whole guest list, arranging the table.
Ridiculous. So she's like, this is way too important because right now she and Lisa, LTW, are mom friends and she wants them to be real friends. Yeah. She wants to take it up to the next level. I threw that in there. So cute. She said she's inviting Carrie for fashion, Miranda for politics, Stanford and Anthony because they're gay. And then she's like, the Shapiros, the Downies. And Harry's like, you're bringing out the big guns. She's like, I need one more. He's like, how about the Tates? She's like, they're so vanilla. And then she's like, they're all vanilla. They're the, LTW and her husband are the only black couple coming to the party. So then Harry mentions the Jenkins.
They sound reliable, right? I can't wait to meet the Jenkins. You know what I thought about when you're going to be like, what is she talking about? I think weren't the Jenkins, remember the show 227? Oh, yeah. Okay, so that was
their last name.
Wasn't that their last name when they?
I don't remember. Jenkins, because I just remember Jackie. Wasn't Jackie?
Yeah.
There's another Jackie.
God, I love that show.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in so long. That would be a good one to watch
again. Yes, I've watched some reruns here and there, but I remember watching that with my mom or something.
Nelly.
Oh,
Nelly.
She was the
Is that how she says it?
It was the best. But I think their last name was Jenkins or
Jenkins.
I think it was. Anyway.
So Charlotte ends up. So the next scene is Charlotte at the Jenkins door, and I don't know what her name is. I don't know,
but she was wearing the J. Crew sweater.
She's wearing a sweater again. Is it summer? Because it's not winter.
I don't know.
She's wearing like a mock turtleneck.
Right, and Charlotte's in something like off shoulder practically.
Yeah. So I mean, I know they did this on purpose to be funny because she's complimenting her on the sweater that clearly is really not that great. By the way, I did find it online.
Of course, you could buy that. It's like $47.99 at J. Crew's factory outlet store.
So she starts off saying, "That's a beautiful sweater. Did you get my texts?" And apparently, she sent 4 of them. She's like, "Oh, I thought I only sent 2." And they can't because they have a dinner. She's like, pop in before drinks. And she's like, we'll just do it another time. You can tell she's like, what the heck's wrong with you? She's like, oh, we always say that. Let's just get her done, She's like, text me when you know you can't come. And where is that sweater from? She's like, J. Crew. Like, basically like, what the heck's wrong with you? As soon as the door shuts, she gets a text. So we know she's like, I can't come.
Yeah.
Like I just told you. Biatch. Okay. So next is Charlotte. I did take a picture of her. She's wearing a belt. They're wearing the belts.
They're loving the belts. They're bringing them back.
She's wearing like a floral. I did not like the shirt. It was blue and green flowers and then a white skirt, I guess, and then a blue belt. But she's polishing her silver.
Yes.
She calls Anthony to try to get a black guy to come to the party that was a guy he had dated and was an artist or something. And then he mentions, he's like, no, Stanford burned up his, I guess he had did he say
a little black book or
something? Or was that just in my head? Okay. Okay. Nobody has those anymore. I think some people watching the show, And Just Like That don't maybe know what a little black book is, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So he mentions that, one of his delivery guys is Colombian, but he is, where is it? Ethnically ambiguous.
Yes.
That was interesting.
Appreciate that.
And she's like, no, whatever. And he's laughing at her, basically.
Yeah.
So then they show her, she sees Deirdre, they're outside the school. So she asks her to come to the dinner. And she's like, and invite Jeff. And she's like, who's Jeff?
Goff?
She's like, that's your husband. She's like, his name is Joff.
That was great. That was great.
Is it spelled like Jeff? And it's pronounced jock?
Yes.
Because that makes no sense. Because an E does not ever
pretty
make an
sure
ah
it's
sound.
spelled Jeff.
I'm just telling you as a speech pathologist. It never makes an ah sound in any language. Okay. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Because I'm an expert.
There's probably like some sort of like what do you call it?
Over like a person. Oh, maybe it doesn't matter.
I don't know, but it's probably Jeof or some weird spelling.
Oh, yes. No, it's
because there's Jeff
that's
spelled like that.
Oh my God, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
It's going to be spelled Geoff, and it's pronounced Joff.
Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. Sorry, I did not even think about that. Why? Because I'm picturing Jeff in my head.
Yeah,
that's hysterical. Okay, so Deirdre goes off to call Joff. To find out. She's like, well, I think Anyway, LTW comes by and says, "Oh my gosh, we can't come. We have a concert." Mm-hmm. Oh, her mother-in-law invited them to a symphony, and Herbert didn't even tell her till like the night before or something, because he knew all week she'd be like stewing about it. So then immediately,
she comes back.
She tells Deirdre it's canceled because she forgot Harry had a colonoscopy, and she's like, "See, I'm not crazy. You do drop balls.
Yeah, way to go.
You do drop balls." And she's like, "You got me," or something like that. So, so now we have Miranda and the professor at a restaurant, and he keeps saying there's no record of this reservation, and they go back and forth, and they're letting people in, and people are going ahead of her, and she shows him the confirmation on her phone. He still can't, he doesn't see it, and then finally he finds it. She made a reservation for San Francisco location,
of course,
which
it could happen.
I don't know. It could, it could. It could default to that, like if you weren't paying attention. Whatever. Okay. So they finally are sitting at the table, and she apologizes. Naya apologizes because she's been hopped up on fertility drugs. And Miranda says, "I get it." Naya asks her if she's been through it. She said, "No, but, and do you have kids?" And she's like, "Well, no and yes. I have a friend who went through hell, and I do have a son." So then Naya's asking her if it's worth it. And, Miranda says, depends on the day. Her son called her a B because she's finally sent the girlfriend home.
Finally, she went home.
And made him do, as I put, finally, made him do his homework. Naya said she hadn't heard that side of the argument. I mean, like, I'm not looking forward, but my son better never, ever talk to me.
No.
I will not be having his girlfriend.
Ew, no. Can we talk about Miranda's orange jumpsuit? Because I wasn't really feeling it. It was a little orange is the new black, like a little bit like that. And I was loving her other jumpsuit from last episode.
Oh, well,
it was gorgeous. And then when she had this one, I was like, it doesn't look as nice on her either with her hair and her skin tone.
No.
It was a little bit like a prison.
Prison or worker or something.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling it. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree. Where's our
talking about kids.
The thing that Naya tells her, which I thought was significant, is this is her second round. The first round didn't take, and she said she kind of felt relieved. And she couldn't believe she was telling her that. But she says how her life is pretty close to perfect, but she is worried she'll regret it. And so then Miranda mentions a classmate she had at Harvard who was single, never had children, and she was a judge.
Yeah.
And Naya's like, but she comes home to an empty house. And then you could see Miranda, she's just like, I would love to be a judge. I come home to an empty house. She's like, but then I see my son, and I'm glad. And then I see his dirty underwear on the kitchen floor. I mean,
Yeah.
So then I think, Naya says, you can't have it all. And then Miranda says, you can. It's just really effing hard. What the heck did I put here? Yeah, I don't know what I was trying to say. Okay. It says, I don't know what she said. And then she said, sorry, now I know what I was trying to write. Naya says, is that your closing argument? And so Miranda says, if you get pregnant on this round, you're going to love motherhood every second. Yeah. And then they laugh, and they get another round of drinks. FYI. That was enjoy every minute. And I was not enjoying every minute when I was waking up at 4 a.m, changing a diaper.
I know.
I wasn't sleeping. That's all I have to say.
I know.
To stab everybody who said that to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, enjoy every minute.
Let's go for
I probably wrote that in your card. I apologize.
You didn't, but I don't think you did. No.
Because I know.
Don't ever. Yeah. Duh.
Heck no.
No, but I had, people gave me diapers that they wrote on with Sharpies, and the Sharpies all bled onto his onesie, so thank you very much. One of the things that it said was enjoy every minute. Diaper? And they thought it was cute while I was changing his diapers at like God knows what time. And one, I'm not kidding, it was enjoy every minute. And I was like,
I would have thrown it right out.
Yeah. So she meets up with Seema at, I think, the open house. Yeah. And Seema has on a Ralph Lauren jumpsuit. Mm-hmm. Again, the purse matches the crisscross with the black. Like, I was just like, oh, I loved it. I think it was vintage, but you can find like copies of it. But I believe it was vintage, which I loved even more. I thought maybe, and I'm probably going to insult someone, thought it was a Halston possibly. Halston had that
kind of pattern.
I thought like with the halter top. I thought with that crisscross like that. But they were more dresses, I think. I have to clear my throat, of course. Because I was laughing. Okay.
Don't laugh.
They go. I know, I can't laugh. Yeah. Oh, wait. Wait a second. I'm confused on this. This is not the open house. They're at the bar. They're at a bar, it looks like. And Seema's showing her guy on Tinder. Because I definitely wrote something about the open house.
I got to find that in my notes. Go ahead.
I don't think they're at the open house.
I thought they went to the bar after the open house.
Yeah, why didn't
my notes go in that order?
House?
But I could have.
No, I think you're right. So I don't see. Oh, here it is. Oh, I skipped it. Sorry. So Carrie's at the open house, and she says it looks like Mad Max meets Dances with Wolves. Why is there a motorcycle in here? What does that mean? Which I thought was also really funny. She's like, I probably dated this guy in the 90s. Mm-hmm. She's like, what do you mean? She's like, everybody dated this older guy, like the older guy in his 50s with this type of apartment. Yeah. Anyway. And then Seema does say, feel free to set me up with, if you know someone. Seema walks away for like a moment, and Carrie gets hit on by the cheesiest guy ever. I mean, I didn't. He asked if she wants to go. Do you want to check out the bedroom? And he's like, I'm moving downtown. Got a divorce. So I don't know if you have any more notes on him.
Yeah, no. I just wrote, moving on.
Yeah, that was gross. But it is depressing. Like she was just like this
was her home. It doesn't.
She's not.
It looked like they were in a whole different apartment. By the way,
that wasn't her apartment.
Wait, what?
That open house with the motorcycle in it wasn't her apartment.
Oh, I thought that they did.
Open house.
Did I miss this?
No, they show. She goes home later and sees that they totally changed her.
Yeah,
but this open house was not.
I thought that they did the changes to her apartment, and this was their open house. That's what
with a motorcycle and a bear.
Yes.
No, because she goes, see how you shouldn't have these things in your apartment. Gosh. Maybe trying to show her like.
I watched the episode twice, and I still thought that this was Carrie's apartment. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry.
But I wonder if you thought that because
I don't know why.
I don't know. You might have just mixed up. Yeah. You're watching too many episodes.
And I rewatched this last night and wrote notes on it. Okay, go ahead.
Were you drinking wine?
I am not answering that question.
Okay. So, that was just an open house. And I think it was to show her like maybe what not to do, or maybe
hence why they go there. And now it makes sense. Then they went to the bar.
Then they go to the bar. Yeah. Well, I jumped ahead to the bar.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. But I think it was just it depressed me though, because I was like, she's not married anymore technically, and now like these guys that hit on her. Ugh,
yeah.
Ugh, sad. All right. So now we're at the bar. Seema's showing her this guy who's on Tinder.
Yeah.
And you can see like his butt. He's wearing like a Speedo or something like that. And because you could see the mirror behind him. And I thought that was kind of funny. And didn't it say like up for a good time or up for fun or something? I don't know. I didn't write that down. She's on lots of dating apps. Mm-hmm. She started with OkCupid, and then she was like, are you effing with me, Cupid? She said there was a guy on Tinder who cried after you know what. And so, of course, what did Carrie say? Is he too Tinder for Tinder?
Yeah.
He was Tinder. I don't know. There were always those corny one-liners in Sex and the City, which I didn't love, but so those were in there. That was one. Then what's the part? Oh, I think Carrie asks her, right, if she was like never married, she's like, nope, never married, never divorced, never married, or something like that. And then Carrie says, well, I think it's great that you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And Seema does make this face where she's like, the kind of, you can tell she didn't like that she said that, like her, almost like it hurt her, like, or just, she didn't like the way it sounded. So then we have Charlotte and Harry are in the elevator and she's prepping him for the party. And I loved Charlotte's dress. I mean, it looked kind of like, I don't know if I'd be wearing it to a dinner party, but it was champagne. It was maybe something more like from the 50s, 60s. I loved it.
It had a vibe. Yeah.
It went in and then it was like poofed out and there was layers and she had it was like a bow around her waist. But I would wear this.
Charlotte.
I would wear this one. Yeah. A lot of Charlotte stuff I would not wear, but I would wear that one. She's prepping him for the party. She's like, did you read the article about the Black authors? And he's like, I did. And he mispronounces one of the authors and calls I don't know if it's him or her, Sadie, and it's Zadie. Anyway, she's like, it's unacceptable. We don't have a more diverse friendship circle. Then LTW, opens the door. She looks beautiful. She has this pattern dress on. She has these big black beads and then like a brown, I don't look like a stone or something. Or I'm not sure what it was in the center. I didn't take a picture or anything. They are the only white people.
That was great.
Yeah.
Here she is worried about her dinner party and
I know
that's it.
Yeah. So then LTW walks out. She has to say something to the chef because the mother-in-law just insulted him about the hors d'oeuvres or something. And then Charlotte thinks she recognizes one of the women and it's like, Gwen, Leo's mom. She's like, no. Yeah. No, but I know who you're talking about. So then Herbert's like, this is Shauna. Then Henry says something about the Zadie Smith book. I don't know, right? He brings that up or something. So now we're back to Carrie. This is when she walks into her apartment and everything is beige. And
again, I apologize. I think we're at the same apartment.
She calls Miranda, and I think she kind of said, she says there's no sign.
Yeah.
Now Miranda looks terrible. She looks very depressed, drained of color. Yeah. I just realized Steve wasn't in this episode, was he? Or was he? No, he wasn't in this episode.
Nope.
No. She says there's no sign of her in this apartment anymore at all. And Miranda's like, there's no sign of me either. Yeah. This one in her own apartment. Again, sad. Carrie says it's like her life is gone. Her life was gone or his life was gone? Like her life is not there. It never existed or whatever. So she says, she's drawn to Seema. It's lunch and laughs. And Miranda's like, well, she didn't know big.
Yeah.
And she's like, should I be threatened? And she's like, no, I think it's more real estate than real. Then the Peloton is back. Oh, the Peloton. And she's like, I gotta go. And she grabs the ashes and she puts them in the Barney's shopping bag. I did take a picture of her outfit. I didn't really love it. It's like kind of a tealish colored skirt and then a blue blouse. I think there was a red handbag there. I don't know. I wasn't overly into it, but okay. Now we're at the party. Herbert blows out the candles. They ask, someone asks, I think Shauna asks what Charlotte does. And she said she's a full-time mom. She's active on the parent committee or the mom committee, whatever that is. Herbert says that, they're Thelma and Louise.
Yeah.
Then LTW says, well, she's on the board of the Met.
Yeah.
I think, right? And she said, and then Charlotte says she used to run an art gallery. And the mother-in-law is like, oh yeah. Oh, what did she say? Something about Art Smith.
Oh, I just went right to the fact that Charlotte put her in her place.
Oh yeah. Because the mother-in-law says LTW spent more money on the art collection than she and her late husband spent on her first home. And Herbert says, well, real estate isn't as costly in the Carolinas. And then Charlotte goes off about LTW's art collection.
Yeah.
No, I didn't write everything.
No, but this was phenomenal.
It was awesome. Yeah. And she says it's like owning early sheet music from Beethoven. And her favorite is the Micheline. Am I saying that right? Micheline Thomas, who did the first portrait of Michelle Obama. And then Harry goes, I loved her book.
Yeah, I know. That was so funny.
And then that she says Lisa has a keen eye and the family is in good hands.
I love the way she described all the paintings and like how they went to them and
they looked at them and
boom.
The mother-in-law was impressed.
It was a mic
drop. I wasn't sure how she would react. Oh yeah. And
but you know what? I think it was
mother-in-law's tough.
It was she's tough. And it was a nice moment at the dinner party because you could tell that there was a little bit of like, oh, okay. So, and she was comfortable and
she redeemed herself.
Yeah. And she was settled in and she had something to share. So it was lovely.
In her glory.
Yes.
Yeah.
She fit in very well. So there you go, people.
Yes. There you go. So LTW thanks for Thelma.
Yes, that was adorable.
It's like, yeah, I'm definitely Thelma. All right. So then we have Carrie. She puts Big in the closet on a shelf and says, just till I can find out where you want to be. Yeah. She finds a note from Stanford.
Yes. Ugh.
And he's in Tokyo. Now so basically we're never going to see him again. I feel like we're not. Because what are they going to do?
I don't know because again, we know what happened to Stanford, right? In real life, the actor, unfortunately. So I do know, I did read a little bit online about like how they carefully were, filming his scenes and all along and things like that. So I don't know. I think this might be it. We may have only seen him in those scenes and this is it. We won't see him again because he does pass while they're filming. But yeah.
So Anthony then is at the door and he's showing her the TikTok star named Ashley.
Right.
Stanford manages her. She's 17 years old. She's from Long Island and Asia loves her. So Stanford decided to go on tour with her. And she's like, why did he leave me a note? And he's like, he didn't want to tell you in person or whatever. And then he's like, he also left me a note. He wants a divorce.
Yeah.
And then he says, I don't get it. We were so happy. And it's like, what?
Yeah. So I think that they're just gonna. That's my thought.
Yeah.
They only had so much time that they could film with him. So, but what they did was great when he filmed.
Yeah. I know.
He looked so good.
Yeah, he did. So we have Charlotte and LTW. They're out for coffee. Charlotte's purse was really interesting. I took a picture. She's wearing a red skirt. I think there's a red belt possibly and a white cute little top. Yeah. And then the handbag, I'm sure there's like a total description for this that I didn't get, but it looks like it was, what is that called? Yes. When people, it's like the background's plastic and then they take like yarn and sew patterns on it. What is that? It's not cross stitch. What's it called?
Oh my goodness.
Not crochet.
Oh my goodness. My grandmother used to do this. My great grandmother.
Yeah. Even during our holidays at school, the woman who works in the kitchen in the cafeteria, she had Santa's and she didn't do those. Her friend did.
Who reminds me of my great grandmother.
The woman in the kitchen.
I have the plant.
Not.
Oh, she did. Yes.
Not Barb.
Loretta.
No,
Miss Loretta in the kitchen, and I have. Oh, was it Barbara's friend that did it?
It's Barbara's friend.
Oh, because Loretta seems like she would actually make those projects.
Yeah, well,
she made me the most.
She might try.
Beautiful. So Loretta made me the most, and Court. So we're talking about work, but made me this beautiful bag out of recycled calendars, and oh my gosh, like a beautiful gift bag.
Oh, Loretta, didn't she clean your room?
She did clean my room over the summer.
Okay.
And then she started making me homemade English muffins and everything. We started bonding and things.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I thought she did those. Oh my gosh. What is that called?
No.
I have,
can you Google it?
I don't even know what to call that. I'd have to like text my sister right now. Like, what is that called? Go ahead. Keep talking.
I can't believe I don't know because when I was little, I was obsessed with those things. I was like,
I had a music box that she made me like with like a ballerina on it. And I have like magnets still for Christmas that are that plastic with the yarn. I used to do all the projects with her. I have so many things in storage of that.
Right.
Okay, I will.
Okay. I'll just keep
Go ahead.
So Charlotte confesses she was very nervous about the dinner the other night that was canceled because they were going to be, LTW and Herbert were going to be the only Black couple there. And then LTW says she was nervous because they were going to be, Charlotte and Harry were going to be the only white couple at her dinner. And then Charlotte asks, did we seem nervous? And then LTW said Harry sweated through his suit.
Yeah.
And Charlotte says she got so desperate that she invited Deirdre. And LTW asks, how did you get out of that? And she's like, I said I dropped the ball. Took one for the team.
Yeah.
Cheers. And then they clinked coffees or whatever.
They're calling it plastic canvas.
No.
On here.
Why?
But like,
totally
you know, it's this stuff. I'm showing you. Oh, yeah.
Cross.
This is what you're talking about.
Find out what that's called. Yeah.
Plastic canvas, but that's not what we called it as like growing up.
Definitely called like
something. I know. It's going to drive me bananas.
Ask your sister.
I will.
Okay. Text her that picture and say, what do
we call this as kids? Yeah.
Yeah. So then we have Carrie and Seema. Carrie arrives. This is when there was an open house at Carrie's apartment. And Carrie comes to the apartment and after it and brings sushi. And she asks how it went with the Beija Palooza. And she's like, just saying some stuff like, I might show it again just to drum up some talk or whatever. I don't know. Then Seema tells her how the glass on a picture broke. It happens to be the picture that was on the side of the side of the bed on Big's side, and it was of her and Big. And Carrie is very upset about it. She's like, he had touched that glass many times, and now it's gone. You can't replace it, because Seema was saying, well, I'll have it replaced, all this stuff. She apologizes. Carrie is very upset because she says it seems like, Seema doesn't care.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I don't think I think Seema says, she might seem like she's insensitive, but she's not. And she says it's kind of like Carrie's comment about her still putting herself out there. Well, she first says it's like what you said, and Carrie's like, what? Putting myself out there after all these years. And then she says, maybe you have a point. Maybe I don't feel sorry for you. You had the love of your life and you had many wonderful years. And, that's what I find. That's why I put myself out there. Like, it's worth putting myself out there. Then Carrie realizes and she says, I agree. And then she says, well, she offers her yellowtail, the sushi or whatever. And the last line is, and just like that, they began a real friendship. I don't know. I had mixed emotions about Seema bringing that up.
Yeah.
At that point. Because I kind of felt it was like a little tit for tat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Snotty. I mean, I think she did feel badly. And she almost had to say it so that, I don't like that tit for tat when someone's upset about something and you're not recognizing it. Totally. Do you know what I mean?
They
Get you out of it a little bit.
They're bonding, but it's almost like a real estate transaction. Goes back to just you're the customer and I'm the provider. I don't know. So
yeah. So I don't know how I felt about that at that point.
I wasn't ready for that.
No, I wasn't either.
But I do feel like, they have obviously a bond growing, and I think we're going to see more of her.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah.
When I've looked this up, they're calling them like an ensemble cast.
Okay.
And Anaya's character and Seema's and LTW's.
Yeah.
I think all three of them are considered that. So, but I'm wondering if we will see, we don't see LTW really, but just something with her, but maybe we will.
Right. It's
we saw Anaya interact, not a lot, with her husband on the phone about stuff. But we'll see. We'll see.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. There are definitely fans of the show, but there's a lot of people that
are not.
I don't think they can get over the first.
Yeah. No, listen.
2 episodes.
The first episode was hard because I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to like this season.
I know.
Like this series, the spinoff of it.
Yeah.
And watching it episode by episode now, I'm more into it. And now I'm getting comfortable in it.
Yeah. I want to watch it.
I do.
Want to see what happens.
Look forward to the next episode. I'm hooked now, but it's sometimes like a book, right?
Yeah.
Even, you had recommended, I was late to the game, but like the book you recommended to me, Where the Crawdads Sing, right? I got it. I started reading it. I was like, I don't know. And then I got into like the first couple chapters and then I was like hooked and I didn't want to like go to bed at night because I wanted to just keep reading until I couldn't even keep my eyes open. That's how this series is feeling to me now.
I think what's hard too is they are how many more years older, and there is something that's hard to I hate to say it, like it is hard to wrap your brain around it a little because you just picture them the way they were and now but that's life. That's how it is. And I
that's with any sequel.
They are making the men, and they in Hollywood or whatever you want to call it, don't do this a lot and have older women, and unfortunately in the starring roles and
but there's something to be said about that.
They're doing.
My all-time.
I'm glad. I'm glad they
listen. My all-time favorite show is The Golden Girls,
but
and will forever be. And I still watch it, and I'm not ashamed. And
yeah. Oh right.
Rest in peace, Betty White.
Girl.
But you know what I mean?
Stand up for yourself.
No, but I'm just saying, like that show has circled back even before Betty White's passing this week, right? Yeah. So. Right. It has come back around, this very popular show in the late 80s, right? Early 90s, or, in the 80s and 90s, right? Yeah. But there's like a whole new following. Think about all the merch with the Golden Girls, right? And it's coming back around. But those, they were women, older women. I don't know.
No, it's true.
And it was a very successful show, and it's a very successful show now and has been for years now.
Yeah.
I don't know. You could turn on.
But with them, they had it as like, they're older, they live in Florida.
I know.
This little stereotype.
Yeah.
These women are actually living. Oh my God. You can actually go out and do things when you're 55.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa. Right. Like, so it's a little like, come on.
Yeah.
And they're not all Botoxed up and,
no.
Except I think Kristin Davis has the fillers going. But the other one, it's realistic. It's like.
It is. They're living their life.
There are people you work with that look like that.
Correct.
Shocking. There's people who really look like that.
Yeah.
And they have way nicer clothes.
And you know what? And they're out there like it's just, I don't know. The whole,
it's good. It's very ageist when there's like, they're just too old. And, it's like, well, let's.
I mean, we just got done with a show that,
college girls.
Yeah. So right. So we're coming from the sex life of college girls, who these girls are, supposed to be like 18, 19 years old, right? And now we're following a crowd in their 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? They're doing very similar things in some ways.
Sort of.
But the fashion for the older women is actually better. Maybe because we're older, I don't know. But anyway, I'm enjoying it the more I get into it, just like a good book that is hard to get into.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes. And we might catch up where we can actually release an episode. That's my goal.
Yeah.
A week and be on the same week as when it was released.
Listen, we're supposed to get 1 to 3 inches of snow tonight. So we could very well be podcasting tomorrow on episode 5. You don't stay tuned because you just never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to sign off as DLJ. I don't know.
All right. I'll sign off as
Jackie. I'm going to call you Jackie.
Jackie. All right. Bye.
Bye.